Hello! Alright, today I'm going to show you how to draw Tygra from Thundercats. Alright, I'm going to start with a circle for the head, and if you guys are drawing along with me, please make sure, if you post it to social media, that you tag me in it so I can share it and I will see it. Alright, so we got the circle for the head, these lines, and for the chin and then the jaw, and here's this little V for the neck where it's going to come down. I'm going to put the shoulders or the traps to the shoulders, and then this is kind of like a little diamond that's going to represent, that's where the collarbone's going to be. Alright, next I'm going to bring down the center line for the chest again. We do in all of our videos. And then we're going to come and do the chest. And now once you do this curve on the side, and then this is kind of like a small W. And it's kind of the same way on the other side. Alright, so now we have the pecs in there. I'm going to continue my center line down. We're just going to draw him standing there holding his whip in one hand. Alright. Now this is the rib cage right here. Then from there we're going to come down to the waist. So I've got the waist right here. I'm going to go ahead and put the shoulder. I'm going to draw a circle for the shoulder right here. And the other one I'm going to draw right here too. It's not going to be a full circle because part of it's obstructed from view by the rest of the body. I'll go ahead and put this this rectangle. It's an uneven rectangle for the hand because fingers are getting smaller as you go down the hand, but I'm going to put that there. A block for the thumb. Alright, now I'm going to come back down here and come down to the crotch. Come down to the side, then we have a angled line, and then this one's going to be a curve because this leg is closer to you because of the way the body's turned, so this one's going to be curved like this because of that, and this is just kind of going to be a straight line across. Alright, I got that center line coming all the way down. This really is helpful because it shows you the motion of like the body. So you can kind of use that if you're doing a twisty or a twisted torso pose. That's helpful. Alright, I'm going to do the lines down here for the legs. Got this back leg. And now this front leg. That's kind of where the knees would be. Alright, so now let's start going with the rest of the arms. I'm going to bring a cylinder down for this arm. Then the forearm's going to be about right here, so you got the elbow right around here. And then this is kind of the top of the forearm where it's more bulky and rounded. And here's another cylinder down here for the lower part that comes to the wrist. I'm going to put the hand right here. So put a square in for this hand. And now for this arm, because he's got kind of like a flexed bicep pose while he's holding that whip, it's easier for me to draw it from the hand to the forearm just because it's kind of coming out a little bit too. So I'm kind of doing these circles to give it some form so I can follow it. Down to like the elbow's going to be right about here. Now we'll just do that top part of the forearm like we did over here, but it's going to be a little fatter because it's flexed like that as opposed to this one where his arm's just out. Alright, so now we're going to put another big curve for the bicep. Alright, I'm going to add some fingers because this one's going to be making a fist. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got the fingers. Add a couple small curves for the knuckles. Okay, now we're going to start getting into the details of his costume. First, I'm going to put this whip piece in here, the handle of it. And if you wanted, this is just a sketch. If you were going to ink this later, you don't have to do it all the way through, but it helps you kind of keep it consistent if you just do the line all the way through the hand. And I'll kind of darken when I get to doing the details, and it won't be as obvious, but it's just helpful to keep the lines consistent if you just go through it at this point in the sketching phase. Alright, so now we got the pieces of the whip, the little balls that he has on the end of them that extend as he extends it. It's like a retractable whip if anybody's not familiar with his weapon. Alright, now we're going to go to the face, and then we're going to start adding the details of the costume. Well, first I'm going to go to the details of this muscle here. Do the bicep, and coming out to like this little point right here, and then the tricep, same shape, but start it higher, and then come straight down to the elbow. Alright, so now we've got the form, and we're going to start doing details. My favorite part. Alright, let's go to the face. His eyebrow that's facing out, we're going to do that one first. Then we're going to do the second one. I'm going to make them kind of pointy. Let's do the form of the face. I'm going to put his nose right here. And his eyes. And since he's an anthropomorphic cat, a tiger, I'm going to have these dark lines around the eyes and then put like this little sharp point out. I'm going to draw smaller pupils than I normally would. Usually I just do small pupils for villains, but since he's a cat, I'm going to do that. Alright, so now he's got this big mane of hair. And so the way I like to draw it for him is he's got like kind of like wing points, almost like Wolverine's hair. So I'm going to kind of start from like right here, like the point in the middle of his forehead, and bring it out to where it comes across flat, but then you have kind of like a triangle shape right here. So you've got this side here, and this side here, and starting to flatten out on the top of his head. So now we're going to bring that down to the side, and then we're going to do that also on the other side. Come to a couple points and just bring it in. Now, depending on which design for this character you look at, if you look at the older one from the 80s, I don't think his ears were visible, but he's got these tufts of hair like right around where his ears would be. But if you look at the one from the more recent reboot, not Thundercats Ho or whatever the recent one is, but the one that was in the 2000s at some point, that one I think you can see his ears. So you can put them in there if you want, but I'm not going to. Alright, so he's got this, he's still got these like orange on his face that comes out to here around his eyes and comes straight up, and then it comes back down right over the nose. And also at some point up here his hair changes from orange to white. So I'm going to put that line in there, and the reason that's important is because he's going to have the tiger stripes on the orange part of his hair. So now that we've got that, I'm going to put a little mouth in here, just kind of like a very short and fat M, kind of. And then put a line under here for the lip too. So now I've got his head in there, which looks giant because of this giant mane of hair. Alright, so now I'm going to put the tiger stripes. And so the stripes, they look like they're kind of going towards this center line of his hair. And even at the bottom, they kind of start from there. And you can just kind of do them how you would like. They don't have to go all the way to the edge, and they don't have to have a certain shape. They don't have to be symmetrical. Although if you want to make them symmetrical, you can. But it's kind of up to you how you draw them. And he's going to have more on his body too that we're going to do in a second. Alright, so let's start doing the costume now. I'm going with the 80s costume, which is almost kind of like a painted on bodysuit looking thing. But that's what I'm going to go with. And it's mostly different shades of blue. He's got this big circle for his Thundercats emblem in the middle. I'm going to draw this down here. These are just little sections of the costume in different colors. And he's got these rings around his forearms before it goes from his costume to just his tiger skin. It's fur, I guess, not skin. He's got that on the other side as well. So we'll put that in again. Do some more stripes. And kind of can do whatever kind of stripes you want. Okay, so now we've settled on some lines. I'm going to start darkening in some of these lines. And he's also got this covering on this shoulder. Just almost like one shoulder pad, kind of. And it's got a little design on the bottom. It's like these points that goes around on the bottom. And then he's got stripes on his neck right here. I think the rest of his body is covered, so those are the only stripes you're gonna see, I think. Alright, he's got different colored pants than his upper body. It's like a very light blue, kind of like the sleeves. Alright, so now let's go back and do this hand too, and then we'll do the Thundercats logo. Alright. And also at some point his hands are like a white, and it kind of goes from the orange skin to the white on his hands. Alright, so the last thing we have left to do is the Thundercats logo. See if I can make this easy. So we're going to start here, point right here. I'm going to put a small point right here, and then the last one right here for this top part. So we're going to do this line here, and then another line to this one. Then it's going to kind of come in a little bit and curve back out. So that's like the top part of it. Now we're going to put a point here for where the teeth are going to come down, and then we've almost got like a circle for like the inside shape of the mouth. And this is going to kind of come around. Kind of hard to do in this small space, but put a little eye in there and we can shade it in. And there we have Tygra from Thundercats. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. Thanks for watching.